Hello, folks. I'm meteorologist Tom Quick. It is time for a little weather information here. Let's check things out from the perspective of our Tower Cam network. First of all, starting at Rapides Regional Medical Center, where we see a partly cloudy sky to mostly cloudy sky at that particular point. There's been intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout the day as we're got plenty of moisture. Surface dew points are pretty high in the 70s, and we have a little bit of energy kind of coming from Francine, which is across northern Mississippi, setting out kind of a northwesterly flow, little ripples of energy riding down that northwesterly flow. And all that's combining with the daytime heating to get these little isolated showers started and increasing the clouds, getting those cumulus clouds developed up where they be mostly cloudy skies right now. Natchez, less cloudy. It's now and warmer at 89 degrees over in that direction, a little bit hazy. And then as we look down to the south on the opposite end of Sinlock, we got 89 also by chance in Stellies in LeBeau. And yes, I did check the numbers, folks, not making that up. We see a partly cloudy sky in that direction. Go down there and get you something good to eat from the Stellies restaurant and market. Satellite imagery indicating the center of rotation now just to the south of Memphis across northern Mississippi. This moisture is from a Pacific tropical cyclone in the kind of the Baja area of California, and that moisture is kind of riding the upper level flow. We actually saw a little bit of high cloudiness from that for today, but the main story is this, again, remnant energy from Francine still hanging out there across portions of the Tennessee Valley and Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and some of those locations. What happened was there was a big high pressure cell up in the Great Lakes, southeast Canada, and the northeastern United States. And once Francine was driving northward toward Memphis and got there, maybe a little north of there, it just ran into a brick wall and stopped moving and has been kind of working around in that area. But eventually the pattern will change somewhat, and we'll see some changes down here. We'll lose the rain chances for one thing. Speaking of rain chances, here we go with what's going on here in Sinlock. We see hit and miss, very miss for the most part. The showers across the area. Got one of these at my house. I got a big 2 clicks in my rain counter there. And this is a little cell that's to the north of west of Center Point right there. We can see that it's got a fairly decent little core, but it doesn't last long because it's moving at a decent pace and it's not very big. So let's go about and see where else we're seeing. Saw a little bit across northeastern of Walls Parish and the very rural areas there. And then farther to the south in St. Landry, we saw a little bit happening there. And then across southwest Allen Parish and kind of extreme western St. Landry there, just to the west of Eunice. Looks like Eunice got a little rain. Going into Allen Parish, no rain really explicitly in that direction, but you get the very isolated nature. But this is why I keep 10% in the forecast. As a forecaster, as a meteorologist, I would have rather have 10% in something like this to happen rather than have no rain chances and have this happen. Just a kind of a forecasting philosophy of mine. All right, let's go beyond this. We're checking out the regional satellite and radar. In fact, through the United States, we still see what's left of Francine there up across areas to North Mississippi. Here's the tropical system. Of course, there's Baja, California, and a lot of convection there just to the east of the center there will be weakening as that kind of moves toward the north and the northwest. Not really any influence on our weather picture though. And then going into Sunday morning, this is time for Sunday school and church. Very little rain chance, if any, at that particular time. So you got your trip to church taken care of there. By evening, if their evening service, or if you're out running some errands or something like that, getting something to eat, do see a little bit of a chance of some showers across the area, especially in those northern and northeastern areas. And then by Monday, it is back to work and school for folks, and I see maybe a little patchy fog as we've seen lately across the area, but other than that, no rain or storms expected there for Monday. But once we get into the daytime, it gets warm enough, we start activating the atmosphere. Yep, there's another chance of some showers and a few thunderstorms on Monday. So Sunday's rainfall pattern here for you. It is both AM and PM timing. Probably AM would be the most likely time across this area, where I got 20% for DeRidder, Oakdale, and Opelousas. And then the PM for the remainder of these rain chances So Sabine Parish, 10% for you, 20% for Natchitoches, and then heading eastward a little bit higher. I'm confident, kind of going out on a limb, a little bit higher than what guidance is offering. 30% for Wynn, Grant, LaSalle, Catahoula, and Concordia parishes, and then over toward eastern Concordia, maybe a 40% there for Vidalia area, and higher across the river into southwest Mississippi, dropping southward, 20 cents worth there for Avoyelles, Rapides, and so you kind of get the idea there. So once again, low end rain chances for the area. Less than an inch if you get the rain, if you're lucky enough to get it. Now let's check out the tropics with a little tropical tour there for you. This is Tropical Storm Gordon continuing in the tropical Atlantic. You see convection continuing off and on to burst and kind of keeping it energized. 45-mile-per-hour sustained winds still expected to travel in a westerly direction and weaken to a tropical depression in the coming days, and then maybe regenerate once it goes in toward areas to the north. But again, long term, this doesn't look like it's a threat to the United States, but we'll keep an eye on it. Certainly not in the Gulf of Mexico. So Nick and I watch every single one of these this time of year because as forecasters, these tropical systems, they pay no attention to us. All right, let's go into the satellite imagery off the East Coast. A little interesting situation there. There's still a frontal boundary kind of draped and stationary there across off the East Coast of the United States, Southeast Coast in particular, is where we're seeing a non-tropical low develop a couple hundred miles or so offshore. And National Hurricane Center gives us a 50-50 shot of developing and transitioning into a subtropical or fully tropical system there with that Gulf Stream. Remember, the Gulf Stream kind of works around this area, and so it will be over the Gulf Stream, the warm energy source. So, yeah, that makes sense to have a 50-50 shot at that. Still a couple of hundred miles or so offshore, as I said. So we'll keep an eye on that. Eventually, that is not going to affect us, we don't think, either. All right, here we go with your 7-day numbers. Morning fog possible again Sunday. Some areas had it this morning and yesterday morning, while others escaped it. I still see this little frontal boundary kind of in the area, so I'm going to put that up there for the Sunday, Monday time frame. An average of 20% Sunday. I did that parish by parish earlier, and then Monday 30%, and then back to 20% there on Tuesday. So the next 3 days we got these little pesky rain chances, and temperatures not too bad, upper 60s and mid to upper 80s for highs. And then there'll be a little bit of a pattern change. We'll eventually lose that energy from Francine. It'll get absorbed into a larger scale system to the east of there. Might mix with the energy coming onshore, maybe with that 50% risk tropical areas. But suffice it to say that we will see less happening there. At the same time, by the middle of next week, we'll see a troughing develop out across the western United States, and that will pump up a ridge over our area. Remember, that's a warm bubble of air this time of year, sometimes hot. And so temperatures are going to go up during that time frame. So it's going to be kind of hot with temperatures averaging about 90 to 92. These are CenLA averages. Individual stations could see maybe things as high as 94 to 96 at a few locations. Morning lows will hang out in the upper 60s to the lower 70s during that time frame. And right now, I am confident that we can take out the rain chances. All right, that is your 7-day forecast and your mini weathercast. Nick Mickels will be back with you tomorrow, and I'll see what I'm do tomorrow. I'll be working on forecasting tomorrow, I think, and your outdoors forecast and weather network stuff.